Grand Rising. I hope your day is off to an amazing start. I am thinking about, while I'm out here walking, one of the things that is part of my practice as I practice life. I'm Selena. Hey, for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm Selena, practicing life. And the practice that is up for me today is the practice of being aware and mindful of my finances. And so that has been part of my journey for a number of years in different ways. Just, of course, making enough money and making plans. And one of the things I'll tell you is that I have had a fearful relationship with money. And by that, I mean that I didn't like to look at my numbers. I used to not balance my checkbook. Like I just would, just kind of eyeball it kind of thing. And hold on, there's a truck going by with a lot of noise on a cross street. But yeah, I just, and I couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't know why. I didn't even really know to name it as fear. I just was kind of like, oh, okay, whatever, not really taking responsibility for my numbers and awareness. And so, that had been going on for a number of years. And in the past several years, I've been taking that a lot more seriously and wanting to be, better. So, with the help of people and materials, I've started to develop a practice of being mindful of my numbers. And part of that practice is that I look at my accounts every day. I've made a commitment to pay all my bills on time and to not debt. And when I say not debt, it's like unsecured debt. And so I've been living in that. And so the reason why this is up for me now is because a couple of different things happened yesterday that really made me remember that this is important to me and I need to stay on top of it. And that is that, one, I had an overdraft fee because I neglected to move money from my savings to my checking in time for a bill that was posting. So I had that fee. And then I was late for my workout class, which has a start on time, close the door, lock it policy, which I know that. And I just didn't get myself together to get there on time. I was 1 minute late, and that 1 minute was all it took. And so 2 things, and then there's a late fee. So those 2 things happened. And they really got under my skin because it felt like I was slipping back in my awareness and commitment to being conscious of my finances and just being aware. And I'm sharing this because I'm sharing what I did about it. And what I mean by what I did about it, I just came up a hill. I am breathing. I'm trying to pretend like that wasn't a thing, but that was a hill. So, what I'm doing in the face of that, right? This isn't financial advice. This is, how do I care for myself? How do I practice life with that? Because I had that feeling of panic inside, of, oh my goodness, it's not working. I'm not working it. Oh my goodness. And more. And just as I'm breathing after going up that hard hill, that was what I did. I took a deep breath and I prayed and asked for help and guidance. And then I reached out to a couple of different friends to talk specifically about this from a perspective of, like, I know that they are people who want to do better with their finances as well. So I wasn't looking for someone to tell me, oh, it's okay. I wasn't looking for somebody to judge me. I was just looking for somebody to listen. So, I was specific about who am I going to call about this. So I called two different people. Well, one person called me, actually. I was going to call her, but I ran out of time. Then she reached out for something different. And so we got a chance to talk. And that was really helpful. So how it helped me was that, one, I didn't isolate. I didn't just stay by myself with this panic and this sense of, things are falling apart. I prayed and asked, I asked for help. And then I reached out to human beings to not carry this by myself. And so what did all that do for me? Well, one, it helped me to just remember that I'm not alone, right? That's huge. And then it also helped me to put my experience in perspective and not like disregard what I'm feeling. Like I was showing up for my feelings, and I gave myself permission to feel those feelings and to take action. And in taking action, I was reminded that, that just the perspective of not necessarily my problems versus somebody else's problems, but my concerns in light of the things that I've done, like that these are two blips on a long journey of learning and discovering and taking action and making mistakes and learning from them and recommitting. And, there's a whole journey and a cycle, and this is part of it. So that reminder, and also the reminder that in the grand scheme of things, not just the grand scheme of my life, but in the universe, those two things compared to the abundance that is already on its way to me, that already sustains me, it's not really a thing. And so having that reminder and refocusing was something that I got to experience because of the self-care that I'm committed to, which is to part of my self-care and my practicing life is that I'm not doing it by myself anymore. I'm not going to make myself do it by myself. And I'm not looking for anyone to rescue me. I'm looking for, just support along the way, identification, and, taking the next right action. So my question for you, if you'd like to drop comments below, I would love to hear from you. But, my question is, what do you do when things don't go according to plan? How do you care for yourself and get perspective? So I hope that you are practicing life with joy today and that you do get out in nature and spend time under the sky and with your feet on the ground. Peace.